Well, it's news that the entire country has been waiting for. India's Festival of Democracy. The dates for the general elections will be announced tomorrow at 3 p.m. by the Election Commission. The Election Commission posted a brief statement on Twitter on this. The dates for 4 assembly polls scheduled to be held around the same time will also be released. My colleague Sunil Prabhu joins us now for more on this. And Sunil, I presume as that announcement is made, the Model Code of Conduct also kicks in. Is that right?
That's right. It immediately kicks in. And the crucial factor that we really need to look at when the Election Commission announces how many phases will it be. The last time round in 2019 was 7 phases. Will they be able to keep that? They had actually reduced it from 2014 when it was 9 phases. So that's a big thing. What they usually do is around 80 to 90 seats, dividing that 542. But this time round, they have a little bit of a challenge because Jammu and Kashmir, if they decide to go ahead with a simultaneous election, then the requirement for paramilitary forces is further. Most political parties there have favored simultaneous polls. And with the COVID panel also asking for simultaneous elections, we'll have to wait and see whether the Election Commission will do a simultaneous elections in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir now. So it's in that context we'll have to wait and watch. But definitely all eyes on the Commission on how they will ensure a free and fair election, especially after the 2 new election commissioners took charge today in the backdrop of course, what was a sudden and abrupt exit of Mr. Arun Goyal, who cited personal reasons, apparently after differences with the chief election commissioner and him. So that's the big development in terms of the dates for elections, and we'll have to really see how it carries on.
Absolutely. Sunil, hang on for a second. The Supreme Court has refused to put a hold on the appointment of 2 election commissioners, Gyanesh Kumar and Sukhbir Singh Sandhu, under a 2023 law that excluded the Chief Justice of India from the selection panel. The court will hear the matter on Thursday. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has come down hard on the State Bank of India for not sharing the complete data on electoral bonds. The 5-judge bench, headed by the Chief Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, directed the State Bank of India to disclose electoral bond numbers as well, in addition to the details it has already shared. The bond numbers are essential since that links corporate donors with political parties. Let's go back to Sunil on this. The Supreme Court today was fairly direct in what it observed and said that the State Bank really needed to have provided more information. But the State Bank will be given an opportunity to respond as well. This, I assume, is the natural course of justice, right? That they've been asked questions which they need to reply to. When does this happen?
That's right. The principles of natural justice, because SBI was not a party, it was disposed of. The Solicitor General said to please issue notice to the SBI since he was not representing the State Bank of India. But prima facie, there was a rap from no less than the Chief Justice of India, who said that they should have actually made it public in terms of the unique alphanumeric number. And in fact, he was all ready and all set. But when he was requested by the Solicitor General to issue notice so that they might give, SBI might try to explain why they don't want to, go ahead. Having said that, Vishnu, there's another important point that by tomorrow, that sealed envelope data which political parties had given in terms of who had given them electoral bonds, that data will be released and the digiting and scanning of that has been done by the Supreme Court registry, and it will be handed over to the Election Commission for making it public. So it's important data too, which many people are talking about, the missing 2,500 crores and thereabouts. So it's in that context that data will also be made public. If that unique number, alphanumeric, as is envisaged by the Constitution Bench, is released, then it will become very easy to match the quid pro quo in terms of who gave the bonds and which political party received. And then, of course, as we've been talking through the last few days, how you can match and find out which companies and et cetera, in terms of whether they were Shell, whether they got any other benefits or not.
Right. Sunil, thanks very much. A day ahead of the date for the elections being announced by the Election Commission, the Prime Minister has been in the south of the country on an extensive tour where he's hit out at the India bloc, accusing them of being corrupt. Mr. Modi says the DMK in Tamil Nadu doesn't respect the culture of the state. He's also said that the nexus between the left and the Congress in Kerala must end.
Minister Narendra Modi's roadshow in Telangana's Malkajgiri in what would be his first election campaign activity in Telugu states in the run-up to the parliament elections. 10 days ago, he had addressed official events and public meetings in Adilabad and Sangareddy. BJP candidates from Malkajgiri, Etala Rajendra and Secondrabad Kishan Reddy on the Prime Minister's convoy that covered 1.3 kilometers with big crowds on either side of the narrow roads.
The BJP vote share in the assembly elections went up from 7% in 2018 to 14% in 2023. The number of parliament seats that they won in 2019 was 3, and they are hoping that this time it will be more than 12 seats. So, if the country slogan for the BJP is Ab Ki Baar 400 Par, in Telangana it's going to be Ab Ki Baar 12 Par.
On his fifth visit to Tamil Nadu this year, Prime Minister Modi intensified his attack on the ruling DMK and the India alliance on corruption, pitching himself as an icon of development.
हमारे नाम पर डिजिटल इंडिया स्कीम है, इंडी अलायंस के नाम पर लाखों करोड़ रुपए का 2G का स्कैम है। बीजेपी ने बड़ी संख्या में एयरपोर्ट बनाए, इंडी अलायंस के नाम देश की सुरक्षा के साथ खिलवाड़ करने वाले हेलीकॉप्टर स्कैम है। हमारी खेलो इंडिया, लेकिन उनके नाम पर CWG स्कैम का दाग है।
With a negligible presence in Tamil Nadu, the BJP is still grappling without a major ally after AIADMK's exit. On a weak wicket, the party is wooing smaller parties like the PMK and late actor Vijaykanth's DMDK. But the big question, would Prime Minister Modi's frequent visits and state BJP chief Annamalai's Padayatra alone work magic for the Saffron party at the Dravidian heartland?
With its formidable alliance intact and keen on repeating its 2019 clean sweep, the ruling DMK targets Modi on attacking federalism and snatching states' rights. It says the Prime Minister neither visited the state during devastation by floods nor released special packages for relief.
When you have elections in a month, have you seen the Prime Minister's face here in Tamil Nadu? Otherwise, we haven't seen him. We didn't see him when we needed him, especially during the floods. Shouldn't he have come then? What's he doing here now?
With camera person Nagaraju and Uma Sudhir in Hyderabad, Sam Daniel and camera person Suresh in Kanyakumari, NDTV Bureau Report.
In a major development in the Delhi liquor policy case, the BRS leader K. Kavita has been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate in Hyderabad and is being brought to Delhi. It is possible that the ED's action is linked to the now scrapped Delhi excise policy case, in which Kavita, the daughter of the former Telangana Chief Minister Chandrasekhar Rao, had been questioned. Earlier today, the Enforcement Directorate raided the premises of Kavita in Hyderabad as part of its money laundering investigation. The External Affairs Ministry has rejected the United States' will closely monitor comment on India's implementation of the CAA or Citizenship Amendment Act, calling the remarks misplaced, misinformed and unwarranted and an interference in New Delhi's internal affairs.
As regards the US State Department's statement on the implementation of CAA, and there have been comments made by several others, we are of the view that it is misplaced, misinformed and unwarranted. India's constitution guarantees freedom of religion to all its citizens. There are no grounds for any concern or treatment of minorities. Vote bank politics should not determine views about a laudable initiative to help those in distress. Lectures by those who have a limited understanding of India's pluralistic traditions and the region's post-partition history are best not attempted.
So we are concerned about the notification of the Citizenship Amendment Act on March 11. We are closely monitoring this act, how this act will be implemented. Respect for religious freedom and equal treatment under the law for all communities are fundamental democratic principles.
The former Karnataka Chief Minister and BJP leader B.S. Yeddyurappa has been charged under the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences or POSCO Act over allegations of sexually harassing a teen. The police charged the senior BJP leader based on a complaint by the mother of a teenager, a 17-year-old. According to sources, the girl has alleged that she was assaulted on the 2nd of February when she and her mother visited the 81-year-old leader to seek assistance in a cheating case. As summer approaches, Rajasthan is faced with an acute water crisis. 90% of the state is dependent on groundwater for drinking and irrigation, and the groundwater table in Rajasthan, unfortunately, is falling alarmingly.
Kilometers ahead of Sachor in South Rajasthan, people forced to dig in the ground for potable water. The 10-foot pit begins to fill with water, and women quickly rush with their pots and pans. The water will remain potable for 2 days and then turn saline. Till then, it's a rush to fill as much water as possible.
देख रहे हो पानी के हालत देखो, पानी खारा है, पानी खारा हो जाता है, पानी दूसरे जगह से बेड़िए से वगैरह से लाता हूं तो 1500 रुपया एक टंकर का लाता हूं, इसमें मवेशी पिलानी पड़ती है, कपड़े धोने पड़ते हैं।
2008 से करके अभी कभी हमारी ये 15-35 साल की उम्र है, कभी हमारे को पानी नसीब नहीं हुआ।
12 villages in Chitalwana Tehsil of Sachor are faced with a severe drinking water crisis. The Narmada Canal came to this region in 2008. It supplies drinking water to 500 villages in the area and to Jalore and Sachor. But this backward tehsil, consisting mainly of daily wage workers, has been overlooked. The water table is saline. The only way to get sweet water to drink is to dig pits like this. After 2 days, this water also slowly turns saline, and the village people will have to dig fresh pits to meet their drinking water needs. Churu in northwest Rajasthan. Under the Jal Jeevan mission, Rajsa village was given drinking water connection and taps. But most of these taps remain dry. And village people say they are forced to buy water tankers to meet their daily needs.
नल लग गए लेकिन नलों में
लाइन फोले पानी हम आवे को नहीं ए फुट राप का टुंटी लगा रखी हम की आंग मा 30 मरता मर लाग जा।
In Bharatpur's Bayana in East Rajasthan, this village of Patparipura has no source of drinking water. There is only one well in the village, and here too the water is undrinkable. People are forced to walk 3 kilometers to the Uttar Pradesh border to fetch water from a neighboring village.
ये है कि मतलब दीवार लोगों ने मतलब दीवार ठाड़ी कर दी है खेत में, सो उनको चढ़ चढ़ के पानी लेने जाना पड़ता है। कभी पैर भी टूट जाते हैं, करंट के तार लगा दिए हैं, एक आध बार जैसे लग जाना तो उसमें झटका खा के गिर भी जाते हैं, टूट जाते हैं हाथ पे।
It's a similar story across the state of Rajasthan, where 70% of the groundwater is in the dark zone. And as the summer approaches, a very real crisis looms over the state. NDTV Bureau Report.
And they say it's going to be an extremely hot summer ahead. International news. Amidst the war with Ukraine, Russia goes to polls, with Vladimir Putin's re-election to the post of president being seen as a formality. Mr. Putin has no major opponents. His fiercest critic, Alexei Navalny, recently died after taking a walk while feeling unwell in a prison in western Siberia.
Дорогие друзья, сегодня у нас и только сейчас.
Despite a simmering war with Ukraine, Russia and Crimea are voting in an election that may put Vladimir Putin in power for a 5th term. The 3-day presidential election could extend Putin's term as president until at least 2030, making him Russia's longest-serving ruler since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. Meanwhile, Putin's dominance in the country has ensured a lack of any credible opponents. Moscow's most prominent anti-Putin voice, Alexei Navalny, died in jail last month. His wife, Yulia Navalnaya, has called on Russians to join the nationwide protest on election day.
Впереди голосование на выборах президента. Да, они полная фикция и фальшивка. Путин нарисует себе любой результат, который ему по душе. Хоть 80, хоть 180%.
Polling has begun even in 4 regions recently annexed by Russia, even though they are still in Ukraine's control, with Ukraine denouncing the exercise as an illegitimate effort by Moscow to tighten control over its neighbor. While polling will end on Sunday, many in Russia have already prepared for another 6 years of Putin's rule.
Russia is also suspicious about the NATO deployment in countries like Finland, Latvia and Estonia. We will keep you updating about the ongoing Russian election from Moscow and the heightened tension between Russia and Ukraine and its Western allies. So keep watching NDTV. Umashankar Singh from Moscow for NDTV.
In an effort to raise awareness and enable people with disabilities, the Cricket Association for the Blind in India and Hyundai have organized a 5-match series between India and Sri Lanka. India won the series 5-0, but cricket and inclusion was the ultimate winner.
The field, the players, the passion and the love for the beautiful sport that is cricket. It was the coming together of 5-time world champions India and Sri Lanka. This in an effort to raise awareness and enable people with disabilities.
See, we need more support from corporates, like how Hyundai, they came forward through Samarth, they're supporting like any. But comes to blind cricket, they are seeing only blind name, they are not seeing our game. They should come, they should watch, then only they should judge.
Correct.
Before seeing our game, our talent, our efforts and commitment in our game.
The series was an attempt to boost the holistic growth of India, which aspires to build a more inclusive society for people with disabilities. But the big question is, why cricket?
It is absolutely not just about cricket. It is also not just about sport. It is about creating a momentum to increase inclusivity in all forms that affect the disabled in India.
As much as this is a success story and upliftment for blind cricket in India, the indifference about providing financial help to blind cricketers in India by the world's richest cricket board BCCI still remains a worry.
It has been a long-term desire of all of us blind cricket family that someday soon Cricket Association for the Blind in India and Blind Cricket of India gets patronized, recognized and supported by BCCI. So someone like that supporting blind cricket definitely will mean a lot, and that day will be a big life-changing opportunity for blind cricket.
The success of these blind cricketers translates into all aspects of life, giving them the hope to have a productive life that is full of pride. With camera person Ashok Mahale, Usama Shah for NDTV.
A story of real hope and inclusion over there. And our partners Hyundai doing a lot of work over there. Very proud to be part of the Samarth campaign, which focuses on inclusion at so many levels. Out of time on this bulletin from all of us here. Good night.